Would you guys recommend, of course, would you guys recommend the company, the process, after everything, would you guys recommend WolfSteel Buildings to your friends, family members? All right, welcome back. Today we're discussing this beautiful building we have with our clients today. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Well, first and foremost, thank you guys for taking the time for us to first and foremost visit the property, visit the building. And
we're happy to do it. So we love it, so we're willing to share.
Beautiful. Love to hear that, man. I do have a couple questions for you guys, super honest questions. My biggest question, well, the first question really is, what made you guys we do offer tubular buildings and we offer red iron buildings. You guys chose with the red iron building. What made you guys decide a red iron building over a tubular building?
Because we like to spend more money. No, no, he can answer. So.
Well, the main thing is because the aesthetics, and then also the building is a lot stronger. So we like the 2-foot overhangs, and then the way that the lean-to looks. So there's not as many columns or supports as the tubular.
Mm-hmm. Barn-like.
Yes, man, I get that all the time, and those are great points. Those are great points. Well, the 2-foot overhang that you guys have when you're building, that's not even an option. That's not an option on tubular buildings.
Right.
I did notice the building. Everything about your guys' building is like 100% customizable. The size, the lean-to, the length, the height. What made you guys want to decide that size and everything about the building?
So the way that the building is oriented, at first we were going to go with a smaller building, like a 30 by 40 or 40 by 40, but then we figured out that we have enough property so we could make it bigger. And everybody always says, hey, the building's not big enough, so
yeah,
we decided to make it as big as we could.
Because we have a neighbor like 4 or 5 houses down, and he's complaining he has a 30 by 40 barn. Oh, I should have gotten a bigger one. We're like, maybe we should get a bigger one.
No, we actually get that all the time. Yeah, as a client, you have your budget, you want to stay around your budget, but of course, going bigger is, I feel like, the biggest thing clients always go back and like, I wish I went bigger. I remember when I was working with you guys, originally we were gonna do a tubular building. That was actually what we requested for. And the building was actually 30 by, like you said, 30 by 40. But after, I think it was a weekend, I sent you guys the quote Friday, and Monday you guys let me know, let's do a red iron building. So do you guys went to YouTube and start watching videos, or what was it?
Yeah, that's how we found you guys.
Oh yeah?
And we went to the website and we looked at the, configurator and all that stuff and kind of designed what we wanted.
I really like how you can just build it and look at it real time. No, I want a 2-foot overhang. Add it, I love it.
Yeah. And you were mentioning before we started recording that the building originally was going to be looking like the home, which is this way. It wasn't going to be looking this way.
Correct.
So when you change the size, you fit the house more this way.
Yeah, I think it's mostly aesthetics, because the orientation like this way, you can see the whole beauty.
Yes.
I don't want to be looking at a big long side, with a teeny window like this.
Man. I do have a couple more questions. The roof pitch. What made you guys decide that specific roof pitch? The 612 roof pitch. Was it just to match their home? Really, the biggest reason?
Pretty much. And then I also want to put a lift inside, so I need a lot of volume, so that's one of the reasons also.
Yeah. He also added the extra concrete or whatever to
the pads
to support. I don't know what he's going to do in there, but it's ready.
Man, I love it. Honestly, I really hope we show B-roll inside the building. It's actually really nice. As you guys can see in the video, we actually outside. It feels amazing right now. But if you actually walk inside the building, it feels colder inside. And there's no electric, there's nothing inside, but already you feel that difference. Why? It's because this beautiful building, you guys decided to go with a spray foam. We're doing 2-inch on the walls and 3-inch on the roof, correct?
Yes.
Beautiful. It came out so nice. I hope we can see videos on it. And one specific thing about this spray foam is we have 2-tone color spray foam on this building. What do you guys think about that?
I love it. We've got the black ceiling, and then everything else looks white, but I think it's a little grayish or something. It looks great.
Yeah, it's ice gray on the walls and black roof spray foam. Honestly, it came out so nice.
And then we added the epoxy floor. So.
I really hope we have video right now showing it. It is so nice. The epoxy came out super nice. How long did it take you? How was that process on the epoxy? Like,
it was 2 days. So they grind the floor first, and then they put the epoxy down in the flakes, and then the next day they came back and they put the top coat on. So it turned out really nice.
Let me add something about the concrete guy.
Yes, ma'am.
The guys that were putting in the epoxy floor, they like sand it down or something, but they grind it down. They couldn't grind it because it was already so polished.
Yeah, they're having a hard time. They said it was really hard.
They did a really good job.
Oh, wow.
Kudos to the concrete guys. So they did a great job.
I love to hear that. A big shout out to the concrete team on this project. Love to hear that. Thank you for sharing that information, man, seriously. Looking at the building, looking at everything we decided with the building, what was the biggest things that you guys like, okay, I'm glad we invested on this? For example, the overhangs, that's an upgrade. The gutters and downspouts come standard with the building. The garage doors, we have windows for the garage doors. What are the biggest things you guys are like, okay, I'm glad we decided to do that upgrade?
Oh, I'm glad we did the 2 doors the same size because we were going to do one for the RV that's taller, and then it just looks so much better like that. And then I started looking on your things you can add, and I said the windows, and I was like, oh. And I like more light in there too, and so it adds light, and it's just beautiful. So.
Love to hear that.
Well, I'm glad we spent the extra money and made it big, and then also, it looks really good. And we have a little storage area on the side because we have a shed. We're going to empty the shed out and make that into like a wood workshop. So. Yeah,
and then the porch, I'm going to kind of decorate it like I did my front porch of the house. So it's going to be a little, it's going to be ready for a sock hop and barn party or something.
You better invite us, man.
I will. You're invited.
Honestly, I love to hear that. It came out so nice. Yeah, the enclosed section. Originally, I remember you guys. It was actually smaller. It went bigger. The doors, the garage doors, great you pointed that out. You pointed that out, I'm sorry. Originally we had a smaller one, a bigger one, and then we decided to do the two the same size, which I'm glad you guys did that. It gives a more symmetrical look to the structure. Honestly, it makes it look super nice.
Yeah, and the price wasn't that much different.
And then the windows itself, you mentioned that we have that as an upgrade, which is true. For our garage doors, we offer windows, and you can actually decide where you want them, how you want them, and all those things. You guys decided to do that mirror so you can't really see from the outside, but you can see from the inside, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's just tall enough where if you really wanted to look inside, well, he can do it, but I need a stool there. But yeah, you can look in and check in. Everything's okay, Nobody's in there. Yeah, sneaking around.
Yes, man. Was there any specific aspects of our service, of our communication that stood up to you guys from start to finish, from the selling process through concrete, through first processing, then concrete the building? The whole process, was there anything that stood up to you guys?
Well, the whole thing that made it easy was that this property doesn't have any deed restrictions or HOA, so that's what I would recommend if you want to buy a property in Texas. Outside the city and no restrictions. So.
Yeah, no, that's 100% true. It's getting very common in Texas where properties need permits, you have HOAs, so you guys did the right thing. And yeah, no permits needed for this.
Dodge that bullet.
As far as for, WolfSteel, we decided to go with you guys because, you do everything pretty much. And the things that we have to add, electrical and stuff like that, it's not a problem. But, the whole process, the handover from department to department, it went pretty smooth. There was a few little design things, we had to talk about, but
Yep. All the materials and everything was here, ready to go when the guys came to do the welding. Yeah, it was good.
You guys felt like the communication was on there the whole time? Like, for example, when we were starting the concrete, when we were starting the building, you guys felt like the communication was there? And you guys can be, of course, as honest as possible.
Well, trying to get a hold of you is, I'm just... No, you were awesome, and you kind of led us into this whole thing and helped us decide what we want to do. And you've been very, I mean, you were reachable on a Sunday or at night, anytime. You were always there. So I really appreciate that. So
Thank you so much, man. And thank you so much to us well, sir.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, one last question for you guys is, would you guys recommend, of course, would you guys recommend the company, the process after everything? Would you guys recommend WolfSteel Buildings to your friends, family members?
I don't think so. No, absolutely we would.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, we
I
really
mean,
like the building.
I just like the quality and the communication, and everything just gelled and it went really smoothly. I mean, the building went up in like, what?
2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, once the concrete was done and cured. Yeah.
It was bam. And they did all the welding and every corner and all this, and they did such a great job. I mean, they're very professional. You know, you need to tell them guys they're awesome. So, the welders.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to record this, man. Thank you so much for like as well, sir. Thank you, sir.
Glad to do it. We just absolutely would recommend you
Love to hear
for the whole shebang.
Love that. Well, Pac, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you guys like this video, and check our YouTube channel out, check our other videos, and make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you so much.